Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're gonna take a look at the Annihilape with a Rage Fist in the Open Multi League. And today we're gonna climb up even further. Thanks so much for the support on the recent videos, I really appreciate it by the way as well. Would really appreciate if you would leave some likes here as well on this video. It is free, but also thanks so much for the support on the last few videos. We are trying to climb up a little bit onto the leaderboards in this week. We're going to see already we are at over I think 3,200, maybe no, actually we're not over 3,200 at this point, but we're going to be over 3,200 after this video, which you're going to see later on as well, which puts me definitely somewhere in like the middle of the leaderboards currently. And I can tell you already, for the next game that we're going to showcase tomorrow morning, which I already did the battle tour, I climbed up even further. I'm close to now 3,300 MMR for the season, so all the teams that you see on this channel here are insanely good teams to run. But not only this, you can even take more of an advantage of this channel and the games that I do here, because the opponents that I'm facing are all like the best players in the world right now. So if you find a team that the opponents are running that you think are maybe cool teams to try out for yourself, do that. Like, it's a great idea to get some good teams in here as well. Like, all of my opponents here are also of course at like 3,200 MMR plus, so feel free to copy their teams. Their team's definitely gonna work out as well, but also my team's of course gonna work out as well. And so yeah, today we're gonna take a look at a Double Ape team here. We're going to have Primeape and Annihilape in one team, and it was kind of cool to be fair. As always, there are going to be always a little bit like issues, especially from not playing the teams as often before already. Of course, it's like the first time I play those Pokemon, especially Annihilape in the Ultra League. We already had a Primeape Ultra League video yesterday if you want to see another team around Primeape. But today we're going to take a look at Primeape as well here as the Say-Swap. Primeape makes a lot of sense because, again, as I said before, there are actually not as like there's not a single Pokemon in Pokemon Go currently that can resist both Ghost and Fighting type damage, and there's only one Pokemon, or like one family of Pokemon total in the current game itself, Pokemon games itself, that can resist both of those moves, which is Zoroark in the Hisuian variant as a normal and ghost type Pokemon. And any other Pokemon is not going to be able to resist at least like one of those moves, which is really, really good because you're gonna have guaranteed coverage against Pokemon. You have guaranteed neutral damage against Pokemon no matter what is going to happen. How crucial this is kind of understandable, especially with like a Pokemon like Primeape, which I feel like is a prime Say-Swap. The thing for this one is, you have insane pressure with close combat in terms of doing a lot of damage if the opponent doesn't shield. You have the option to bait with the Rage Fist, which is going to also give you an attack boost, but also you have the option to just go straight for the Rage Fist the entire time to boost the attack even further and still do solid damage with it. So Primeape with the fast move Karate Chop generating a ton of energy. I'm fairly certain people cannot underestimate this Pokemon currently still. I know there's a lot of talk about like Primeape and Annihilape, but I feel like, I don't know, like Primeape is not really seen as an interesting Pokemon for the play Pokemon tournaments from what I've seen so far, but I could actually see a play where this Pokemon has even more play than its older brother basically with Annihilape. Shouts to my next opponent here. This might be actually a team I'm maybe gonna copy eventually as well. The opponent's running Shadow Rapiria, an interesting Pokemon having play especially against poison type Pokemon like the Weezing here as well, but also just generally speaking doing a lot of damage in the 2-shield scenario. It's always kind of nice to pair this Pokemon there, like Rapiria, with some bulky Pokemon, because in the Ultra League, Rapiria doesn't really have the biggest bulk there, like not the best bulk in order to do a lot of damage, or like in order to take a lot of damage, of course. And so having a little bit of bulk in the back is always nice. Here, this battle literally came down to the opponent baiting me the entire time with their Weezing. If they would have went one time not for the bait, I would have been in such a great spot now. But because they baited me every single time, they did the bait every single time correctly, which is of course, like, at the end of the day, if you shield and the opponent goes for the overheat, which they had here, I'm going to be in such a great spot. If we don't shield and they go for the overheat, we're just going to die immediately. If we shield and the opponent baits me the entire time, the opponent is going to be in a great spot. But just really speaking, I'm fairly certain I would have had a very good shot at winning this battle there if the opponent wasn't able to bait me every single time. But of course they were, and this is great for them, and good game to the opponent. There's not a lot that I can do here really anymore. We're also running, by the way, Shadow Ball on our what's called Lickilicky. I would not recommend this. I would recommend you Earthquake. I had to change my moveset anyway already. I had like Solar Beam somehow on there still, which actually would have been good in this. No, never mind. I would have not been able to knock out the opponent here anyway. But I actually don't even know. Maybe Shadow Ball is the way to go, because otherwise you have actually issues with Drift Limb as well with this team. But yeah, that is what we're going to lose this battle. Yeah, good game to the opponent. We can move on to the next one. Feraligatr. Let's see what this Pokemon is going to be able to do here. We're going to have our own Lickilicky. I actually kind of want to take a look at something here real quick on the side. I always like to do a little bit of research because with all of the changes every single season, a lot of things change as well in terms of which move is better to go for. And so what I kind of want to take a look here at the side real quick is how much better is a Shadow Ball compared to a Body Slam. Of course, both of those moves are going to be interesting moves. Here, generally speaking, I need a typing where both of them are neutrals. For example, a Fire-type Pokemon to test it out, like a Rapidash. We're gonna see here, like you're not gonna see, but I'm gonna see that Body Slam does 1.05 damage per energy, and Shadow Ball does 1.1 damage per energy. So if you have neutral scenarios with Lickilicky and you're going to be able to hit a charge move basically nearly guaranteed, going for Shadow Ball is going to be more energy efficient. What this means is you get more damage for the energy you're using, which is really good for you. So just speaking, like in those matchups in the beginning there with the Feraligatr against our Lickilicky, if we go for a Shadow Ball, we just do a little bit more damage than what we would do with a Body Slam, which was never the case before, but now where Body Slam got nerfed quite heavily, which honestly is, in my opinion, one of the best changes that ever happened to PvP. Like, Body Slam change was so impactful, which is really good because there are so many Pokemon, they're very annoying, that are all gone now, that it's just a little bit fairer, to be fair, with Body Slam currently. I think that's really good on how it is. But yeah, definitely, if you are in those scenarios, rather go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Here we will see that we're going to be able to farm down the opponent, but they're going to have a Zygarde in the back. We have a Primeape, but with a +1 boost, and here's one thing that I make a little bit of a mistake there. It's okay though. We're going to go for a double close combat. What we see here though is close combat did way more damage than I expected. So if I went for a Rage Fist first, I boost my own attack, I most likely would have been able to knock them out as well without dropping my attack by 2 stages, or like 2 extra stages here, but it's going to be fine as you're going to now move on to the next opponent after winning this battle. So again, for this matchup here, you rather would like to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is going to be a bit better. I just decided to go ahead and go for the Body Slam here still. Not ideal, unless I'm going to be able to hit a Shadow Ball next, which would be definitely ideal, which would definitely help us out quite a bit. But let's see, the opponent stops on to Weezing. We are going to be able to go ahead and go for that Shadow Ball now, doing some very nice neutral damage. And Weezing going to be a little bit of a tricky Pokemon to deal with. There's one team that I saw before where Weezing was running Hyper Beam. Like anything else, I think we would be able to survive. I think we would be able to survive even Overheat here, but not in a Hyper Beam. So congrats to the opponent. Honestly, I don't mind this. I don't mind like getting hit by a Hyper Beam here. I always kind of like when the opponents are playing something funny or something more unique. I really don't mind losing against unique and funny teams. Like, it's literally just giving people credit for their work. One issue for this team for sure is the opponent's Melmetal. Melmetal sees a huge uprise, by the way, currently in the Open Ultra League. This Pokemon is definitely getting more play recently, mainly, of course, due to the increase of Fighting-type Pokemon, which you're going to be able to hit with the Psy-Wave, but also the great coverage it's going to have against our team as well, as Pokemon like Lickilicky don't we want to get hit by a superpower from this thing. And as we're going to see here, the Melmetal is going to still do a lot of damage here. The Foul Play is coming through. We have to let the move go through. And we decide to go for the Rage Fist. Maybe I should have tried to went up to what's called close combat there. But as you will see, the opponent stops out. Feraligatr comes in. Feraligatr is going to be able to, I guess, take this Rage Fist still. We're going to be able to knock them out, but there's nothing that we can do here. No matter what we would have done there, we would have lost against the Melmetal. And again, another Melmetal. This is going to be a very bad matchup for me in the lead. Like, literally, really bad. Like, this team matchup is really bad for me, just generally speaking. I can let the move go through, though. Oh, I decided to use a shield against a Foul Play. Very silly by me. They need to do this. Superpower does not knock us out. Superpower does around like 60% health, I think, from the Lickilicky, maybe like 55 or something like this. It's not going to knock us out. It's not a stab move. It's a very strong move, but it's not a stab move. And so there was no real reason to use a shield on the first one. Next move definitely going to be the big superpower, and so I'm gonna try to now swap out, as you can see, into the Annihilape, but I was still in my fast move animation, allowing the opponent to go for their own charge move. I still swap out of here, they swap out as well into the Drapion. I resist the fast move, but I still take neutral damage from Crunch, which is not as ideal as, for example, the other matchup, I guess, where Awkward Tail does neutral damage and they cannot go for Crunch like against my Primeape. But still, I'm kind of happy with the scenario that we're in, but the opponent decides to let the move go through, which I don't really like at all, because if I went for a close combat, the opponent would have been down now. Should have went most likely for a little bit more close combat with my Annihilape. I used a lot of charge gems on this. I actually got a lot of charge gems recently, but they're all nearly gone again. But as you're gonna see, we're gonna get some nice energy advantage with our Primeape. In comes the Melmetal. I can catch the superpower, which is really necessary here as well to have any chance of winning this battle. but they have Talonflame in the back, and I make a big mistake here. What you're gonna see there as well, I went for this charge move here directly basically for the first cycle of Incinerate. Which is usually smart. Why? Because Incinerate takes 5 turns, and if you go for 2 Cavalry Chops, you had 4 turns, and so the opponent cannot sneak in an extra move. You always kind of want to be -1 the opponent's turn duration, basically, in order to not allow them to sneak in a free fast move. But what I forgot is that the opponent swapped out, which means it cost them 1 extra turn, and I could have went into the second duration, where they have 2 Incinerates in, and at 11 turns total, and went for 5 of my fast moves. I would have most likely been able to reach the next charge move here at the end as well. I wasn't able to, but we can now move on to the next opponent. As you can hear already from what I'm saying as well, there's a lot of technical terms and a lot of technical stuff here in the higher up elo range that completely decides games. Like, literally, the tiniest of errors are going to be very crucial in order to see who is going to win and who is not. And I see this all the time with myself here as well. A lot of times I just don't really do the correct play, which is fine. That's just totally okay. As you will see here, Hydro Cannon coming through from the Feraligatr against our Lickilicky. We're gonna see the Body Slam coming in. That's going to get a shield here from the opponent, and we can try our best to go for another Body Slam. As we will see here, the opponent is going to be able to go for a Hydro Cannon to knock us out, and we're going to take this as an advantage for our Annihilape to gain some energy. I'm fairly certain that counter is going to be enough to knock them out in time, but let's see if this is actually going to work out. It is going to work out, and this is very important as we now see the Weezing coming in. We keep 1 Rage Fist. Rage Fist is super effective, not super effective, with Stab, what I want to say, on the Annihilape, which is not the case here for the Primeape. Primeape doesn't have the part Ghost typing, but Primeape has the better fast move. If Primeape would have been also part Ghost typing, this Pokemon would be absolutely broken, but like this is kind of more balanced, which is really, really good that it's not like the better typing. Annihilape has a better typing, Primeape has a better fast move, and with this, we're gonna see here the opponent stopping into a Meltang. And it's a great play by the opponent, you might think, but, you know, again, Ghost typing is there, and Ghost typing is kind of great if the opponent wants to go for a Body Slam against you. Like, I have to say, that's not the ideal play for the opponent, and at this point, even a Thunderbolt or like an Ice Beam, whatever they have here as a secondary move, is not an issue at all. Like, we're gonna be able to take it, and we can just overfarm up to, like, yeah, a ton of Rage Fist, as I can go for 1 Rage Fist here to boost my attack even further. We're going to see here that we can even go for 1 against the opponent swapping in, which wins us the battle basically instantly as well here. The opponent has no play of winning this one. We can move on to the next opponent. So, next opponent here coming in, we're going to have the Weezing against us in the lead. That is not ideal, so we have to swap out straight away, and they decide to go for a charge move, which we can let go through. But it's going to be better for us because we're very likely going to go for a close combat very soon, which is going to take us quite low, most likely, with the damage that, like the defense drop here for us. And as you can see, the opponent is going to have a very interesting Pokemon here, Shadow Hippowdon. A very good Pokemon to run right now. I saw a lot of people having great success with this thing. Don't get me wrong, this Pokemon is really, really good, so be careful around this, and as you will see, we don't have the best answers to it as well. We have also the immediate attack drop from a 30% chance from the Scorching Sands, which is really unfortunate. This completely changes the matchup how I want to play it, as I would have stayed in way longer with my Lickilicky here without the debuff, but now I'm gonna be forced to swap out of here, and I'm gonna be forced to go into my Annihilape to try my best with the Rage Fist, and as we'll see, the opponent is going to decide to go ahead and use a shield. And what we will also see here is why this 30% chance was so important for the opponent, as we are not going to be able to farm them all the way down before they can go for another charge move. You might think it's going to be another Weather Ball. It is not. It's going to be the Scorching Sands, which we are going to be able to shield up. In comes the Weezing. We are going to be able to go for another Rage Fist to boost up our own attack. And with this, we're going to have the perfect matchup against our Aurorus to win the battle. Final battle for this video, and also all the battles. I think I actually had to cut out 1 battle just because of the time reasons. You see already this video is going to be around 16 minutes. I don't really want to have it way longer, especially at the current time. But yeah, here we're gonna see a battle against a player who I'm a little bit, I don't know, I feel a little bit sad for them. The reason is they were literally recently in my top team video for the Open Ultra League. If you haven't seen this one yet, definitely check that one out. But yeah, basically, I know their team. I know their entire team. I know that there's a Tentacle lurking in the back, and I know that there's a Gustle lurking in the back. And that is a huge advantage. I know exactly on what I have to do now. And so, yeah, we're going to be able to now use a shield. This is going to be a Brutal Swing. And we know that we're going to have the best advantage basically with the Annihilape against the opponents. not ghost type Pokemon, against the opponent's poison type Pokemon. As we will see, they decided to go into the Gastrodon, which I found quite weird, but as you're going to see as well, we're going to be able to go for a close combat and Nini knock them out, but they're actually going to be able to still survive this one, which is quite a weird one. But they're going to swap out into Tentacool. I decided to swap out as well. Why did I swap out here as well? The main reason for this is, that I am going to try to do a lot of damage with the Rage Fist, but I also just always outspeed the opponent with it. I don't get the debuff here as well, which is really good, and I kind of still need to get the opponent a little bit lower in order for me to do enough damage with the Rage Fist of my Annihilape, and I still keep my Primeape. And you might think, why would you keep your Primeape? Why not stay in, take this card on the Primeape, and then go into the Annihilape? The reason is because there's 1 HP still on that Gastrodon, and I'm scared of this one. I'm scared that if I only have one Pokemon left and it maybe gets hit as well, then I'm not going to be able to win against this Pokemon. At this point, we still would be able to survive another Brutal Swing, and the opponent just had nothing to do anyway. And so we're going to be able to win this battle. We're going to see that I climb up to a lot of Elo here as well, and this is going to be the first video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye bye.